Okay, so Alan Watts said that the youth needs to be dedicated with their higher consciousness. Like, I'm gonna break down what this really means. Okay, like, this is really important, and this is like a phenomenon that we see that's happening. Okay, it's like the younger you are, the higher your consciousness is. Okay, other people have said that the Earth is receiving more and more advanced souls to wake people up. If you yourself are awake, I mean, you know how real it is. You know how real that really could be, because you could be one of them, or you understand. You understand how much room there is to wake up. And if you didn't really understand that, well, now you do. Now you know. Like someone is telling you right now. And I know what you are. You're the same stuff I am, and like trust me, like me and other people have figured this stuff out. Like the world could be 100 times better than it is just doing a few things. And I know what you are. You know what I am, and we already figured this stuff out. So utopia is definitely possible, and anything like, and most people, like the people that don't understand this, are just people that never think about it. They never think. And what would this be? Oh, this would be people not being dedicated with their consciousness, right? If they do think about it, it's 1 second, 2 seconds. That's not dedication, guys. That's not dedication at all. And this is what has us split with people that are really conscious waking up and people that are not dedicated at all and think they're conscious, but they're really just in their ego, majorly in their ego, because they're not dedicated with their higher consciousness. So here's the example. So Western religion, right? Like Christianity, okay? The children have a higher consciousness and they're subjected to going to church on Sundays, okay? Let's like their parents or something never talk about God outside of church. Maybe they say like a prayer for dinner or something, but they're like once they get in the parking lot for church, they're trying to beat someone to get out first, or basically people are just suffering still, and they hear about this mistreatment from the church, or people that still go to the church are just obviously in their egos and suffering and not looking at the persons that are left as their brother or as one or as God, right? Stuff that they should be doing is just has been like the spiritual message of church has been downtrodden, right? And so, or has been tampered with because of the sin of man, right? So the higher consciousness that are the kids that are being dragged to church, right, realize that something's not right here. They get a bad taste in their mouth. They look around and they see, for lack of a better word, well, I don't know, like they see someone that isn't really like all the way spiritual. People that are actually spiritually like hampered a lot, and they see how they're acting, and they subconsciously and consciously pick up on that. So that there's a lot of people in this area that are like that, and then they pick up on maybe the teachings have been skewed a bit or something. I don't know. I feel like the teachings definitely have strayed. Like here's just one teaching that people that if just all Christians understood, it would be perfect. What did Jesus feel on the cross? Jesus felt, I'm lagging out here. So, like a teaching that like the most basic teaching that would just blow everyone away is, what did Jesus feel when he was on the cross getting crucified? He felt unrelenting love for everyone. Right? Boom. That teaching right there, if Christians just took that, neglected everything else and just took that right there, they would be Jesus. They would be spiritual. They would be like a saint, okay? If you're able to love everyone, even though they're crucifying you, right? And the reason he understands they're going through their karma, it's their ego. It's not really them. It's the influence before the influence, and then influence after that, all affecting each other. It's not this person deciding to hurt me because they're evil. They think I'm some asshole, It's just their ego. It's how they're perceiving it. Okay, that is enlightenment. That is, or close to. If you're able to take the heat from someone and understand that it's just their ego, it's not really them, and love them, boom, you are now a saint. You are now an extremely spiritual person, and you are now changing the world. Because when someone's in their ego and they're giving it to you, and you're able to just look back at them with love, you destroy their ego. And usually they're not going to kill you. Usually it's in a more, it's in an environment where, you got fish to fry everywhere. You go through this guy, fix him up, go to the next guy, fix him up, go to the next guy, fix him up a bit. You're just this image that goes throughout everything with osmosis. It just changes everything around you. This is why spirituality says work on yourself, because that's literally how this works. If you work on yourself enough, you get to a certain point, you will have like literal powers, okay? And you will vibrate higher, and people will understand you. Well, people will like love you, and you will just lift people up by walking by them. But anyways, the youth needs to be dedicated with their higher consciousness, because they have this higher consciousness, but they're not dedicated, and it's leading us towards nihilism, and it's just leading us towards more illusion and more egoic bullshit, basically. Like just being concerned with society and just the stuff like right in front of your face, the stimulation and the social scenes being constructed right in front of your face that aren't real at all. If they were dedicated with their consciousness, they would be really into meditation, spirituality, and figuring this stuff out with themselves, having a tangible connection to this. Like, people that have a tangible connection to spirituality, they practice, and guess what? They're getting feedback. They're getting major feedback, okay? And all it took was a little bit of dedication to figure this kind of stuff out, try a few things out, and then boom, they have feedback, and then it's almost like at that time they don't even need the dedication, because the feedback's there already, so they've already dedicated themselves enough. Like you're floating down the river by then. But to be honest, you need to keep up the dedication though, of course. Once you start the practice, but so now you can understand, like, if people actually just were dedicated, there would be so many more people in the spiritual practice, and we would have like hit utopia by now. But so there's people like me that need to explain certain stuff to higher consciousnesses that weren't dedicated and just got lazy, right? So I can explain the church thing to people, and that changes a lot of people. They understand it. And this whole thing is also that, the game is not supposed to be easy, okay? The game isn't supposed to be easy. You heard about the game, when you were a little kid with religion and stuff, but guess what? Does the Bible say, this person was perfect, and that person was perfect, and this person was perfect, and that? No, the Bible doesn't say that. The Bible is real. Like, this is the real life stuff, okay? The majority of people killed Christ, right? That's reality. That's reality for you, okay? This shouldn't be, but it shouldn't be like awful. It should be like you got to see all the way through the reality, right? The majority of people kill Christ, but guess what? Christ didn't give a shit because he's enlightened. And he's full of love and all that, and that can be you. That can be you, and you don't need to get crucified. You can be enlightened and full of love and just not be crucified. But guess what? If you want to stand up for some truth, you're probably going to get crucified because you're enlightened, because you're a higher consciousness. This happens in the world, right? The Bible is reality mirrored. There's so many people that are just doing their absolute best, or coming in with new ideas and thoughts, or speaking the truth, and man just wants to kill them on the spot, because that's how this works. That's how this reaction works with the ego versus the hyperconscious. And so just to reiterate, like, people, they're not dedicated, and they go to church, they get a bad taste in their mouth, and then they throw out the whole idea of spirituality. Absolutely awful thing to do. But it's because they're not dedicated enough. They just get, their higher consciousness grabs a little taste of sin, a little taste of suffering, because the religion isn't streamlined, or because the society relation to it isn't streamlined at all, and then that's it. They get rid of the whole idea. And this pushes them further and further away. And so the whole thing is, and then what I was saying is, Like this is like the best game ever made, okay? You, like it's hard to be doing the right thing because it's the best game ever made, okay? So the Christians that tell someone they're a sinner for being gay, like, guess what? This is what blows most people's minds. Those people are not spiritual people. Okay? Boom. Boom. The so-called spiritual people that put others down and are prejudice are the furthest from spiritual. Boom. Right? And I know there's a ton of you guys out there that claim atheism or claim non-spirituality because you despise those people. Well, guess what? You are an awakened soul. You despise those people because you are actually spiritual. So go spiritual, get on the right side of it, and then practice properly. Okay? You can now become a Christian and just practice properly and go much higher than those people. Right? God bless. And you don't even need a religion. God is God. All religion is steeped in truth. God bless.